The Premier League is back after the international break, so it is time for our predictions for Game Week 4. But of course, first things first, we look back at our predictions for the previous game week. And let's run through them. As you can instantly see, 4 points last weekend. Oh dear, it's not going well so far this season, but let's have a little look at some of them. So we got Chelsea. They won 2-0. I thought they'd win 3-1. I'll take that. That's fine. Man United, I thought it was going to be the game that they properly kick on. Comfortable win against a promoted team 2-0. No, they made a real hash of it. Cunha got injured in that game as well, as I brought him into my FPL free hit. That video will be out tomorrow talking about FPL going into the next game week. And yeah, they just about got through 3-2. Mad game. I got this scoreline flipped round the next one. I thought Brentford would beat Sunderland 2-1, but in fact, Sunderland at home seem like they are actually going to be a little bit tougher than expected. And Brentford just, they're not that great right now. Spurs, I mean, it's typical Spurs, isn't it? You go and look really, really good, and then you immediately flip-flop to looking like you don't know what you're doing. And somehow they beat Man City and then they go and lose at home 1-0 to Bournemouth. Just really disappointing. The Everton-Wolves game, I got right in terms of the result, but just not exactly how it would go. I thought Everton would be solid at the back, not be conceding, and just take a couple of their chances with the likes of Grealish and Jai looking really, really good so far this season. Turns out Wolves did get at them quite a bit, but they did still manage to get that win. Then we move on to what was a dreadful set of televised fixtures. Leeds-Newcastle was 0-0. It was shocking. Nothing more needs to be said. Brighton against Man City. Again, Man City, what's going on right now? Seriously, what is going on? Haaland had the chances to score a hat-trick in that game, but only put one of them away. The Brighton goal was actually really nice, though, to be fair to them. I think it was a quadruple sub by Hertzler. Completely changed the game. The next terrible TV game, though, that I watched was Forest against West Ham, where up until maybe like the 70th, 75th minute, this game was absolutely garbage. And then Forest completely collapsed against a team that had looked like the worst one in the league. How did this happen? Absolutely no idea. But of course it did, because I brought Chris Wood in for Jared Bowen in my FPL. Next, we had Liverpool-Arsenal. Also, not a great game. But Liverpool did come away with the win due to a moment of magic, which is not exactly how I predicted this game to go, but Szoboszlai banging that free kick in from 30 plus yards was incredible. And then Villa continue their dreadful streak so far. They are the only team in the top 7 tiers of English football that haven't scored. These are the kind of records that we were breaking last season, and we obviously got relegated with hardly any points, so they really need to turn things around ASAP. Palace, though, looking really good. Let's get into our predictions for this game week. We start things off with the early kickoff on Saturday being Arsenal at home against Forest, who, over the international break, had a complete reshuffle of their manager situation. They sacked Nuno, and they've brought in Ange. You can't really get more polar opposite in terms of the ways that you want to play. So I think Forest are going to be a little bit all over the place, at least to start. And they were a shambles against West Ham in their previous game. Arsenal, they were okay against Liverpool. They didn't pull up trees, but maybe they will against Forest. Thank you. And yeah, 3-0. I think this should be pretty easy for them. Bournemouth against Brighton, two teams that are relatively hard to predict. So I'm not really going to say much about this one, to be honest with you. All of these teams, of course, have now completed their transfer windows. You can go and check out the video I did where I ranked everybody's transfer windows and see if you agree with that one. And so new signings are going to have to bed in and see how they work out. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. Next up is Palace at home to Sunderland. Sunderland, who have been surprisingly good so far. Out of the 3 promoted teams, they are the ones that look like they are giving it the best go. But Palace have also looked pretty solid. They did not lose Gahey, but they have lost Eze. How much is that going to affect them? Probably quite a bit. But Pino that they brought in looks like a good signing already. I think Palace are going to continue where they left off, and they're going to beat Sunderland 2-1. Everton at home to Villa. Everton have looked pretty good so far this season, and their signings have been fantastic. Villa, on the other hand, as we said, with that unwanted record that they've got, have been really poor. I think Everton are going to continue how they have started, and sadly for Villa fans, I think the same. They just haven't, going forward, really offered that much, and it's really disappointing. The likes of Rodgers and Watkins just not firing to start off this season. Everton, okay, they conceded a couple against Wolves, but defensively they've looked okay. So 1-0. Fulham, Leeds. How on earth do you predict these kinds of teams? I don't know, man. This is really, really difficult. Leeds, I mean, they got battered against Arsenal in game week 2. In their first game, they actually looked like the better team against Everton. So, and then they get the 0-0 against Newcastle. So, I don't think that they are dreadful, but they just aren't that good in front of goal. I'm going to give them 1, though, in this one. Fulham, I mean, they didn't really do much in the market until the final day, and then even then, one of their deals that they tried to get in Tyreek George fell through. Is Kevin going to be this new superstar Brazilian? Maybe, and maybe I've underestimated him and he's going to score a hat-trick. But I'm going 1-1. Speaking of Leeds' last opponents, Newcastle up against Wolves. Wolves have been shocking so far this season. Really, really bad and right near the bottom of the table. Newcastle also not incredible though. But now that the Isak situation is sorted, they've actually got strikers in the club now. Finally, they've got Wissa, they've got Voltemada. Obviously, Anthony Gordon picked up that red card, and you had midfield potential injuries that happened during that game as well. I still think that now that they're actually going to have a settled squad, and they can just go for it now for the rest of the season without having to worry about the Isak situation, I think they're going to use that as motivation. They're at home. Let's welcome our new signings in by helping them to score a couple of goals. West Ham against Spurs. I'm giving West Ham the benefit of the doubt after winning 3-0 against Forest the other day, that they're going to score a goal. I don't think they're going to win, though, because I think Spurs are going to bounce back from that disappointing performance that they had last week. And they're going to get a couple of goals here. So, hopefully, we see the likes of Xavi Simons come in and play for Spurs. I would love to see that because he is such an amazing player. Will Kudus go and score against his old team? It is the way that things normally happen. So I think Spurs are going to win this one. Brentford are at home to Chelsea, and Brentford just, they're not very good so far this season. Chelsea, they've been a little bit hit and miss in terms of like in front of goal at times, but in general, João Pedro is unbelievable this season. He alone is probably going to get both of the goals in this prediction to make it 2-0 to them. He's been fantastic, and I think Chelsea are just going to go from strength to strength, really, going forward, and so a relatively easy win. Penultimate game, we have got Burnley against Liverpool. Burnley, they just can't score goals, really, and I was umming and ahhing over whether I would give them 1 because Liverpool defensively haven't been great. Okay, they got a clean sheet in the Arsenal game, but they played that game a little bit differently, I guess because it's a title rival, right? It's a massive, massive game. In this one, they're going to feel free-flowing. They're going to bomb those fullbacks on and hopefully get some goal involvements for them. The likes of Kirkez, can he really cement the reason why they spent the money on him? Because so far, he's been hit and miss. But yeah, Burnley, I could be generous and give them 1 goal, but I just don't think they're going to get it. And the final game, I've gone with a bit of a wild card prediction. I will be live streaming a watch-along to this game on Sunday, so make sure you are subscribed and you are here for that stream. It's going to be on YouTube and TikTok. We've done a few of them recently and you guys have loved them, so I'm going to continue doing them. I've gone with 2-2, and logic would say you choose Man City because they're better than Man United. However, they haven't started the season well. So, I think that there is a world where Man United get some kind of result here. It has to click eventually, right? Right? Now, I don't know if Cunha is going to be back from his injury, but some of their other players have started the season okay, and Man City have picked up more injuries as well. Marmoush, over the international break, did get injured playing for Egypt as well, so another player out for them is really not ideal. However, Haaland did score 5 goals, so maybe he gets the 2 for City, and then United manage to somehow do what United sometimes do, and even if they don't deserve it, manage to get a result against Man City. And yeah, I hope that this is the kind of result that happens when we're doing the watch along, rather than just like a 3-0 easy win, because those are boring, right? So those are all of my predictions for this week. I'm intrigued to know how you guys have been doing on your predictions so far this season. What are your thoughts on these games going into this new weekend? Tomorrow I'll be uploading a video to do with FPL, talking about my dreadful free hits that I did last game week. And yeah, the disaster class that was, and my thoughts and transfers going into game week 4. So be sure to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.